Hi guys, this is Nikki, also known as Facelesstrader, and you're watching the Awesome10X live market update. It is a global market update. Today it's on November 26th. It is a Thursday already. Let's begin. Okay, so last night, this was the most important news in my view. It was the potential acquisition of Slack Technologies by Salesforce. Let's try to read those news. It was actually reported by CNBC. I tried to share that on my channel, on my Twitter. So breaking news, Salesforce has recently been in talks to buy Slack, halted for volatility after spiking 7%. So people are seeing that this is actually good news for Slack. But so those people who have Slack will actually become a Salesforce client, right? So this isn't confirmed in my view. But I think that news already triggered Slack to actually rise 30%. Let's take a look at the chart of Slack. Let me just show it to you. Actually, also yesterday, there was a lot of movers. We'll take a look at the strength, no? So example. So yesterday, we also saw some usual winners like Shopify going $1,000, breaking $1,000. Your Datadog was breaking 90, it's now 93. Some of your SaaS names were actually up. Some of the SaaS names continue to go up, your Cloudflare, such that for those who don't have Fastly, I would say that the current prices of Fastly should actually be taken advantage of at about 80 area. Take a look at the work. So Slack is work, WORK. Let's see that yesterday's theme was this merger. It was up 37% based on that news that Slack was going to be acquired by Salesforce. Recently in talks to buy Slack, November 25, to acquire workplace app Slack, it will be a reason for so many people to assume that the buyout acquisition would trade at about 20 billion market cap. Therefore, the market pushed it ahead when they saw the news. In my view, for those who have Slack, this acquisition could actually be really a positive thing. It is not a buy if you don't have Slack. However, if you do have Slack, you might as well wait. Let's see where it goes. So you could see that Slack hasn't had a very good IPO debut. It never went all-time high, even during a pandemic. There was always the threat of Microsoft Teams. You know, there was always those problems, and it never really flew, even if your Zoom videos, your teledocs, your DocuSigns. So it really got, unfortunately, it was a very, very weak IPO debut for Slack Technologies. In fact, here at about 40.70, you could see that it is just barely at the previous all-time high zone of $40. So some people would even buy yesterday at 30.35 only to sell at 40.41 based on this news. So nobody really knows whether Slack will be acquired at 40.41. They could just be talking. It doesn't have to be sure that it's going to be acquired. Plus, even if it's acquired, how sure are you that Salesforce is going to pay at 50 or 60 or 55? It's all speculation, right? So I really don't know how much this acquisition will be. If you have Slack, you want to actually sell partially and then see whether it goes to 50 or 60. However, if you don't have Slack, just don't follow, meaning don't chase. Slack Technologies will benefit, of course, your work. The shareholders of work will finally benefit. Whether they benefit with a 50% premium or 100% premium, that is something that we don't know. Where is the real premium price that work is willing to sell to CRM? So this is the potential acquirer and acquiree. So usually those things M&As are not something that I am willing to bet upon. So yeah, I don't buy a company because I think that's going to be an M&A thing. So these are not names that I would have. I don't have Salesforce. Some of us have work. They asked me, Nikki, what do I do with my work? I told them actually that they can sell partially here at $40, even if it goes to $50 or $60. And also, I thank you for all the watchers, the listeners. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. This is from the Philippines. We don't have turkey here, but happy Thanksgiving for all of you. Tonight, we're also going to discuss a few things, a few topics. Let us discuss some of the most attractive reopening themes. So for the people who know us, I call the reopening themes one night stands, casual hookups, because they used to be just, what is a one night stand? You don't marry the person, right? It's just a one night stand. It's just a 1 week fling. It's just an affair, right? So in general, it used to be that I really felt that all these department stores, all these airlines have a certain fundamental problem, and the problem is that you cannot go out. If you cannot go out, then you can go to the department store. If you can't go out, you can't go to the gym. If you can't go out, you can't go to Disneyland. So those are the things that were bad stocks, or quote unquote one night stands. They're not really bad stocks in the sense that they're not bad, but they used to have a really fundamental problem in how they can generate their revenues in a COVID pandemic. Now, with the COVID vaccines there, they actually have changed. In fact, I made the title in my Awesome10X channel, my title for the Awesome10X Inner Circle subscribers. If you are new, I want you to watch this video again. I have this video called "Can One Night Stands Turn into Long-Term Relationships?" And for those stocks that I mentioned, some of them are up 100%. So I'll tell you one company that I mentioned, which was Nordstrom. JWN actually rallied from about 14 to as high as 29. So is this the only department store out there? Jackra is asking, do you think Nano Dimension will get acquired? No, I don't think so. Nano Dimension is, so I don't buy a company based on acquisitions. And actually for Nano Dimension, we only like to buy it at about $2.25, $2.50. The highest that I was willing to buy was actually $3 to $3.50. Right now it's trading at about $5.50, $5.75. I don't think that it is a target acquisition. It's just 3D additive manufacturing. It has nothing, and probably they have a stake in Natrion Energy. That is one of the probabilities why it's rising, but it has nothing to do with acquisition. We don't buy a company because of speculating on acquisition. Actually, no, I don't do that. Here inside the Awesome10X My Courses, what you're noticing right now is that the reopening theme is truly happening. So this was the title that I did, Can One Night Stands Turn into Long-Term Relationships, November 17, 2020. Today's November 26, it's 9 days after that. More importantly, after just 9 days, a lot of Awesome10X names actually rallied 20, 40, 50, 100%. It is just the same theme. The theme was reopening. The COVID pandemic demolish their businesses, but if we're gonna reopen, they have the highest chance to actually earn the most next year, given that they came from a very low base. See what happened in Nordstrom. It is a very euphoric move. Yes, take note. Was trading at about 13. That was a gap up. Even here at about 15 or 17. Even at the breakout of 19, take note, 19 broke that 24, 25. That used to be the resistance. Now it's trading at 27, even reached as high as 29. These kind of moves are what you call a very strong bullish move. That is the start of actually, it's not the start. It is already a start here pala. The gap up here, we said to buy there. That was about November 17 when I said to buy this at about $17. So some of us got in at $17. Unfortunately, some of us also sold at 24. So yesterday was the earnings report of JWN, Nordstrom, and that earnings report solidified the bullish theory that Nordstrom is gonna go higher. So what's gonna happen with Nordstrom? I think what's gonna happen here is that any dips of Nordstrom from about 20, I'm not gonna reveal a lot of our reopening picks. What I want you to know is that this is just one of the reopening picks that went high and super duper high. Take note. Usually, guys, when you see a name that moves like this, apathy, euphoria, insanity, it looks like insane in a short cycle, right? But go weekly, guys. That is just for the short term. Go weekly. If you go weekly, we haven't even gone back to the March area of $34. We haven't even reached $40. So I'm not saying that Nordstrom has capacity from 20 to go $40. It will take some time, right? But what you are already seeing is that the market is willing to play this reopening theme. And the playing of that reopening theme is not just a 30% move. It's a 100% move. It's a 200% move. It is an exaggerated move. So there's a lot of value names. And actually, I'm going to share to you that there's a lot of value names that we have been making money from. You have to actually just pick your reopening theme. All the non-Awesome10X investors will suffer if you don't follow some Awesome10X picks. That is something that you have to learn from. What else are the most important ones? Okay, SPACs yesterday were also moving very, very wildly. I'll admit, this was a very, very strong move, newborn acquisition and back. I didn't have this. So the SPAC was 10, it rallied to as high as $22, very strong move, 10 to 12, had a gap up early on. Pre-market open was already something like 30 to 40% higher. I woke up the next day, it's already up 80%. It's now trading at 22. So it is amazing for a company to go 100% in just 3 days. Most likely, and back, like most of the names that goes up 100% like these, would have some profit taking. But the question is first, what does NBAC do? Okay, what does NBAC do? I'll go to my notes. I have it here. Notes. Where's my notes? Watch list. I was studying this name, but I wasn't able to really give a deep dive. Sadly, before it went 100% higher in 3 days. So let's read a few things about what NBAC does. Nuvi Investor Presentation. It says here, we make electric vehicles affordable and greener. I don't know if that logo is inspired with Tesla's logo, but the V here looks a little bit like Tesla's logo, right? So anyway, Nuvi. What is Nuvi? November 2020. It says that Nuvi, the founder, is a partner, chairman, CEO from Kyocera Electronics, Wall Street America's Navy, director, COO. Says here that they have their proprietary vehicle-to-grid technology, enabling the linking of multiple electric vehicle batteries through electric vehicle charging stations into a virtual power plant, providing bidirectional services to the electrical grid in a qualified and secure manner. Company generates revenue from bidding onto energy markets, creates energy savings to customers. So they're playing the renewable energy, electrical vehicle ownership, sustainable green society. So far, their mission is to lower the cost of electrical vehicle ownership, supporting the integration of renewable energy through the power generations, through the end consumers. They want to distribute that for these cars. So they have so much goals. 2022, they want to go from 2% EV share to as high as 57%. I still don't know how they're going to do that, but that is their mission and vision. So we can do mission and vision for 2022, 2023, 2025. This one is doing a mission 2040 or a 22 years mission, 20-year mission. Now, what is important here? What you can see is that they do believe in the same EV adoption. They do believe that there is an increase in penetration rate with electric vehicles, with battery electric vehicles worldwide, not just in the US, but worldwide. So they're using the sources from BNP Paribas, UBS, and they believe that there will be a surge in EV market forecasts, increasing the need for battery packs, for lithium ions, etc. So we know those trends, and actually you should be making money already 100, 200, 300% from these trends. So the thing about this SPAC, in my view, the reason why it went up isn't about the company's specific proprietary technology. It went up because it is in the right trend, it's in the right place at the right time, because the market right now is playing a premium on everything battery, grid, driver. There is a real mania in electric vehicle moves. 300%, 200%, 500%, 1,000%. Really, you've seen how Workhorse did, you've seen how NIO did. However, if you are entering them late, you are opening up yourself for some real risks. So yeah, when I take a look at their procedures, etc., it's very hard for me personally to pay a premium here. So why is it very hard for me to put a premium here. Let's read the transaction summary. They are an enterprise valuation. It says here that they're going to have a market cap of $200 million. That would be pro forma enterprise value. Nuv will own 53%, approximately 66 million cash roll to balance sheet. Transaction pipe includes $14 million common stock and warrants at $10 per share. You know, all these pipe investors are already up 100% in just 3 days. Chances are some of these investors, the SPAC IPO investors, will actually sell. So in my view, there will be some selling going on. Who are their comparables? They've got to compete with Blink and ChargePoint. And this is the reason why I actually didn't think much of Nuvi. Personally, guys, between these three, my bet is in ChargePoint. So these CAGRs that they're saying are all forecast. Nuvi said that they can grow 300% higher than the comparables like Blink and ChargePoint. They're saying that they're also a significant discount based on their pro formas versus the revenues with Blink and ChargePoint. The actual numbers versus their projection, the actual numbers is that their revenues are just at about $3.5 million, $3 million. The gross profit is $2.5 million. They're still at a loss. Even if they do a low and high projection there, I still believe that these are just forecasts. So between all of these charging stations, Awesome10X owns ChargePoint. We still believe in ChargePoint, and we will not be... So it's just a matter of you have an electric trend, and people wants to have an electric battery play. And this is a EV charging station play. And I think that people played this as a sympathy move because either they don't have ChargePoint, they don't have Blink, and so they participated with Nuvi. Now, how much have they done? They are the largest transmission system operator in the country for PJM, 10 years of market participation. 3.5 years of commercial operation in Denmark, Drive, EDF, Nuvi joint venture in France, UK, Italy, Belgium, Germany. Okay, if you didn't study ChargePoint, you might be impressed with this. However, the number one leader, if you really study this, is SBE, ChargePoint. So I really prefer to have the number one rather than the number two or number three. But everything that they say here is the same. The opportunity is huge. The total addressable market is huge. So they are benefiting more on the secular trend rather than the individual merit. That is what I think. So yun lang. It's a case-to-case basis, right? So this is NBAC. Can it go to $50? You know, if NBAC goes to $50, my view is that ChargePoint will go higher. That's all I say. Okay, this is ChargePoint. Let's take a look at SBE. SBE went from 10 to 35 to 40, right? So here. It used to be, so now it looks like it's very small now because grabe, diba? So sige, let's delete all these arrows because that seems so long ago. Buy, sell, until finally it went up. So have to buy at 17, 18, 19, 20. So, you know, most of us really have this at 12 to 14. And that one is going to be our, you know, those are stocks that we will keep forever. Granted, switchback went from about as early from like, this is a very fast move, right? 16 to 42. So granted, it's going to have a lot of profit taking. What would happen to switchback? Because the trend is really a 10x move, no? Even here at about 16, everyone who doesn't have ChargePoint is actually aching to buy this. Where will they buy? Do you think they'll buy at $30? My sense is that they will buy somewhere at about $30 or $27. So those who don't have ChargePoint can actually take a look at this name. Instead of taking a look at NBAC, take the real leader, and the leader is SBE. Similarly, I said last night that Artsimoto, even after a 100% move, is not late. In fact, we said that even these levels, while it's consolidating here at 13.20, 14.6, you want to actually participate and buy, even if it goes to 11. At the end of the day, the only reason why it's falling down has nothing to do with the business of Arsimoto. The only reason why it's falling down is number one, it went from 6 and 5 all the way to 20 or times 3. And the reason why it's falling is just profit taking and some dilution. Why was there dilution for Arsimoto? The dilution happened when Arsimoto sold some shares, $15 million worth, to provide their balance sheet with enough cash for production of more vehicles. If you are really in the long term for Arsimoto, that is actually a long-term positive. Similarly, when Tesla did a $5 billion balance sheet move at 500, that used to be the resistance, right, at 500, what happened? It just went up. Now, I'm not saying that this one will keep on going up. It can also fall, right? Because some names would fall just because of profit taking. Look what happened here, Xiaopeng. Why did it fall last night? Was it because there was something wrong with Xiaopeng? No. The only thing that Xiaopeng did was go from 20, 15, 18, 20 to 75. So, because people are so happy, some of them sold at 75. And then, where do you think will people who don't have Xiaopeng buy back? Most likely, the people who sold at 75 wants to enter near 50. However, you can't probably buy it at 50. Maybe you'll buy it here at about 54 or even here at about 58. So right now, you are in a stage wherein these electric vehicles are in a very strong trend. It's actually a 10x trend. For all you know, it just sleeps and consolidates and then kaboom, goes up. Because that's what happened with Tesla. I'll show you. Everything is just the same. When Tesla went from about 270 to 500, it slept for months. And then when it broke out, this was the breakout area, kaboom. It already rallied and rallied and rallied all the way to 574. So that's the thing about secular winners. The thing about secular winners is that it just keeps on going all-time highs, all-time highs. That's why they are not one-night stands. They're marriage partners. So marriage partner categories are actually electric vehicles, whether it be Arsimotos, Xiaopengs. For those who have Tesla early on, then that's good for you. But if you are chasing them, you might see yourself with a 20% loss. It doesn't mean that it's gonna go. It doesn't mean that it's not gonna go higher. It just means that people who have cost at 20 can actually sell to you at any price they want. Similarly, take a look at this. Palantir and Unity are now 200% up for us. What do you think happens here? What will we do? We bought here at about 9 to 10. It rallied further at about 14. Some people are buying there. Some people didn't buy anymore. From about 18, some people might have thought, hey, this is exaggerated, but it went to 30. This is already the euphoria zone. The insanity zone is in this move, right? Palantir. So right now, actually, I would advise a little bit of caution, just like what happened with Xiaopeng. Even if this goes to $40, I think that selling at 30, it's okay. Let's buy it back at 24. You don't sell it all, just sell half. At the end of the day, it was just 19 a week ago. It was just less than 17, 18 a week ago, right? So definitely you know that these people who bought in at 17, 18 are gonna sell at 30, 29. And they won't buy it back at 17, 18. Chances are they bought it here, they'll sell it. They're just there for the short-term move. So I'm just saying that some of the big moves right now are too fast, too soon, 100% moves in just 3 days, that if, example, this one, if Unity just suddenly warp speed tonight from $137 to $180, because right now, guys, I don't know what's happening in the market. Sometimes it's just no news. Stocks just go up 50% and 100%. Like what happened at Palantir. It's not as if like Palantir had a really good news. It just went from $9 to $30. And the more important thing is that it went from 17 to 30 in a week. When we have 100% moves in just 3 days, even if I say that we never really sell, I would want to trim because my 5% allocation for that company suddenly went 10% allocation in 3 days' time. So even if I sell half, I'm just back to 5%. See, do you understand my point? Example, NNDM. NNDM went from 2 to 7, right? Actually, no, hasn't gone. Went to about 6 plus. 573, right? So here we were buying, rallied to 6, fell down to 3, buy back at 350. Even as high as 350, guys, we were willing to buy 350. Here yun eh. 350 to 3, we were willing to buy. So it went up, Some people sold at 450. Some people actually sold at 370, unfortunately. Now, some people still held on. That's why they have this glorious move at 570 and $6. At these levels, it is not a buy, but it is neither. Actually, right now, I'll have to be honest. Some of these names are too high. There's actually more of a sell. We are so happy with Xiaopeng that it's 75 is now 64. Like SBE, FUB 40, now it's 34. It was normal to see it go down because it's like up 100, 200, 300%. And that multiple moves is happening in just 3 days. I'll tell you what other names have been rising so fast. Yes, Arcimoto went from 20, now it's 13. So if you sold at 20, of course you're going to be happy to buy it at 13, right? So I think that's what's happening in the market. There is a rotation going on. We're still at all-time highs. I'm not saying that the market will fall. However, when you're seeing a 30% or a 50% pop, I think that it is not wrong to take some profits on the way up. Example, Dada. Dada is up 60% in just how many days? We bought it here at about 35. Some people bought even at 42. Some people even added at 46. Right now, it's trading at 56. Guys, if Dada goes 65 or $70, I might sell. So right now, I'll be very honest, the market is too hot. The market is too strong. Too hot and too strong. I should be happy. Why am I not? Well, actually, I'm happy, right? Of course, like portfolios all-time highs. A lot of our clients are hitting all-time highs. But at the end of it all, I'm willing to take profit because I'm also saving up for some great IPOs that I think will go 100% and 200%. And for those people who aren't in the Awesome 10X, I want to invite you guys. Go into the Awesome 10X. You'll find ideas that will go 100%. You've already seen JWN. You've already seen Dada go 100%. You've already seen Nano Dimension, Xiaopeng, SBE, FUV. What else are there? Awesome 10X picks that I can buy today that will go 100% next month, next month, next week. So those things are actually something that we provide. So again, I'm calling you out. Go like this channel, subscribe to this channel, and finally go to www.awesome10x.com where you can actually uncover so many Awesome 10X companies. Example, during the Biden-Harris presidency, if you follow this pick, November 6, 2020, some of the picks there are up 300%. Because Biden-Harris presidency has a direct impact, of course, on a sector that will benefit so much. And what are these sectors? What are the companies that are benefiting there? Those are the companies that we identified that you will all continue to make money from. So thank you very much, and thank you for listening to the channel. Bye-bye.